Hey YouTube, this is Jack Connor. Just wanted to pop in for a bit and chat about Star Wars. Rian Johnson still doesn't get it. I saw another article on IO9 today. Apparently there is some fans that want to remake The Last Jedi. And they're trying to raise money for it in their own, fan-made production kind of way. And which is great. I would love for somebody to remake The Last Jedi. Obviously, we wouldn't have the same actors or John Williams doing the score or anything, but I'd be kind of curious to see what they could come up with. I've seen some decent fan-made movies. There's some really great Star Trek episodes that are made by fans. I would be curious to see what they could come up with. But of course, Rian Johnson had to stick his nose into it, and he tweeted about it. And of course, what he said is, please, 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 make it happen. Something to that effect. Something extremely condescending and patronizing, mocking these people for trying to fix his mistakes. And that just shows that he still doesn't get it. He still thinks it's okay to belittle and patronize the people that didn't like his movie, instead of just owning up to his mistakes and admitting them, or arguing with people rationally and intelligently. Instead of doing that, he just wants to attack people and to mock them. And so that's what he's doing. That's what he and other people involved in the production, the writers, the actors, even John Boyega came out a few days ago with some belittling comments to fans, and not just people that were involved in The Last Jedi, but also like Freddie Prinze Jr., who does one of the voices in Rebels, and other associated Lucasfilm people have come out to belittle and mock fans. They didn't like The Last Jedi. And that just shows that they are tone deaf to this issue, and they don't understand the depth of the division in the fan base, and just how much The Last Jedi impacted the fans in the fan base and poisoned the well of Star Wars. And until they figure that out, they're not going to be able to fix Star Wars. Star Wars right now is broken. It can be healed. It's not fatally wounded. But this condescension and the patronizing of the fans is only going to hasten its end. And unless they realize that, they're not going to be able to heal the wounds. They're not going to be able to repair the franchise that is Star Wars, the best franchise of all time. I do think that Star Wars is savable. I don't know how that's going to happen exactly. I have some thoughts that I may get to in another video. I think that this new trilogy is fundamentally broken, and I will get into that in a later video. But right now, I think that it's important for Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson, Lucasfilm, and Disney to take ownership of what they have done to the fan base. They have killed the golden goose, or at least crippled it, and there's still time to heal it. It's not a mortal wound, but it will be a mortal wound if they keep on going down the road they are, which is insulting and belittling the fans and turning the fan base against them. When you turn the fan base against the studio that's making the movies for the fans, they're not going to go to your movie, which is why Han Solo is doing so badly. That is one of the chief reasons Solo is underperforming, probably the chief reason that Solo is underperforming. People are turned off by The Last Jedi and the negativity and the toxicity around Star Wars these days, a lot of which is coming from the higher-ups at Lucasfilm, including Rian Johnson, and John Boyega, the writers, the Kasdans of The Last Jedi, etc. They have come out against the fans, which is exactly the wrong approach. I would be curious to see what Lawrence Kasdan said, because I think it was his son that was so condescending toward the fans. So I haven't seen the elder Kasdan come out with anything. Now he, of course, is beloved to all Star Wars fans, having written 2/3 of the original trilogy to some extent. There were rewrites, But Lawrence Kasdan is beloved and an important figure in Star Wars, and I haven't really seen him come out with much. He wrote or co-wrote Solo with his son, and I think that's so cool that a dad would bring his son on to write a Star Wars movie. I bet they had a lot of fun writing that. I wish it had been a slightly better movie. I wish I could have given it an A or even a B plus, but as it was, it's just a B. That said, it was fine. It was okay. But I would be very curious to see what he would say, because in my mind, Lawrence Kasdan is second only to George Lucas as a creator of Star Wars. But instead, we've heard from his son, we've heard from John Boyega, Freddie Prinze Jr., we've heard a lot from Rian Johnson and various other people belittling and patronizing the fans. That's completely the wrong approach. The fans are your audience, they're your customers. Don't piss them off. They're not going to go to your movie. You're poisoning the well, you're killing the golden goose. Stop it. It's stupid. Okay, that's my thoughts on Rian Johnson continuing to misunderstand the phenomenon that is happening because of his awful, awful movie. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, share on social media, post something in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you.